We're diving into a topic that's generating a lot of buzz right now. Unidentified aerial phenomena, or UAPs, more commonly known as UFOs.
Yeah, they're definitely having a moment, aren't they?
Big time. And we know our listeners are curious. You've seen the headlines, maybe some videos floating around, and, well, we're here to help you make sense of it all.
That's right. Today we're cutting through the noise and getting straight to the facts with a focus on Colombia.
Exactly. Colombia seems to be a bit of a hotspot for UAP activity. We've got a really diverse collection of sources for this deep dive, from a recent official report from the U.S. government to eyewitness accounts, local news stories, even a YouTube video. We're going to look at the January 2023 report from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, some interesting stuff from Medellin back in 2014, a mass sighting in Cali from '99 that was reported to the National UFO Reporting Center, or NUFORC, a few years later, and a recent account from a Colombian pilot just this past April.
Don't forget the YouTube video from Cali just this year, too. Gotta love a good UFO YouTube video.
Oh, absolutely. Can't leave that one out. And while we're at it, we'll also touch on some discussions about increased activity near a Colombian volcano from back in 2011.
So a pretty wide range of material spanning several decades should give us a good overall picture of what's been going on.
Yeah, it should. Our mission today is to break down all of this information, give you a clear picture of recent trends in UAP sightings, and really try to sort out what might have a conventional explanation versus the stuff that truly leaves us scratching our heads.
I like it. Separating the wheat from the chaff, so to speak.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So first up, let's tackle that OD&I report. What were some of the things that jumped out at you?
Well, the sheer increase in reported sightings is pretty striking. The report mentions over 500 total UAP sightings since 2004, but almost 400 of those were added in just the past year.
Wow, that's a big jump from their 2021 report, which had 144, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you're right. That's a huge increase. Makes you wonder what's driving that change. Is it just better reporting, or are we actually observing more of these phenomena?
It's a good question. And the report does touch on some of the reasons for this spike in reports, right?
Absolutely. They highlight a couple of key factors. One is a decreased stigma around reporting UAPs, especially among pilots in the U.S. Navy and Air Force. Basically, there's less fear of ridicule or career damage now, so people are more likely to report what they see.
That makes sense. Imagine being a pilot and seeing something truly bizarre. You'd probably think twice before reporting it, especially in the past when the whole UFO thing was considered fringe science or even a joke.
Exactly. The second factor the report points to is a growing concern about the potential risks that UAPs might pose, both in terms of aviation safety and national security.
So maybe these things are being taken a bit more seriously now, with less focus on the little green men angle and more on the potential threat they could represent.
Yeah, it seems that way. It's becoming more about what if this is something real? What if it's a foreign adversary's technology? And that shift in perspective definitely encourages people to pay more attention and report anything unusual they observe.
Makes sense. Okay, so we've got a lot more reports coming in. What are they finding? Are we finally getting confirmation of alien visitors?
Well, not quite. The report does provide a breakdown of the explanations for the new sightings, and it's pretty interesting. About half of them were described as having unremarkable characteristics. Basically, things that could easily be misidentified everyday objects or natural phenomena.
Right, so a lot of cases are probably just people seeing things that they don't immediately recognize. What about the rest?
Well, out of those remaining sightings, 26 were classified as drones, 163 were categorized as balloon-like objects, and 6 were just attributed to what they call aerial clutter.
Okay, so a decent chunk can be explained away pretty easily, but there's still some that remain unexplained, right? This is the part that everyone's waiting for.
You got it. The report says 171 sightings had unusual flight characteristics or performance that require further investigation.
So that's where it gets really interesting. We've got things that are moving in ways that we don't quite understand or that seem to defy our current understanding of physics.
Exactly. Some of the characteristics they mentioned include sudden acceleration, sharp turns, and movements that just don't seem possible with conventional aircraft. Stuff that makes you go, what's going on here?
And the million-dollar question. Who or what is behind these unexplained events? Do they have any leads, any hints at whether other countries might be involved?
Well, the U.S. official quoted in the CBS article said that none of the incidents have been definitively linked to China, Russia, or any other nation.
So no smoking gun there.
Yeah.
But they did mention a 2019 incident off the West Coast with drones where some Chinese merchant vessels were hanging around.
Right. They haven't ruled out a connection there, but it's still just a possibility. They called China a suspect in that case. Interesting choice of words.
Definitely makes you wonder. The report also states that there haven't been any reported collisions with U.S. aircraft and no direct health effects reported from these encounters. So, good news on that front.
Yeah, it seems like we're safe for now, at least physically, but those unexplained cases definitely raise some big questions about what's going on up there.
They do. So let's shift gears a bit and zoom in on Colombia. Back in 2014, Medellin was making headlines as a bit of a UFO hotspot. What was going on there?
It all started with some videos that surfaced online showing what looked like UFOs hovering over the city, almond-shaped objects mostly, and of course, this sparked a lot of speculation about what they could be.
As always. So what were some of the explanations that people came up with?
Well, there was one guy, Mark D'Antonio, who runs a company that makes remote-controlled models, and he had a pretty convincing explanation for at least one of the videos. He said it was probably just an 18-foot helium balloon tethered to the ground being used for publicity.
Oh, interesting. Makes sense, actually. Especially since one of the videos mentioned it flying near the Atanasio Girardot Stadium before a big soccer match.
Exactly. Seems like a classic case of a publicity stunt being mistaken for something more extraterrestrial. And then there's another video that was circulating, this one showing flickering lights at night.
Ah, yeah, I remember that one. It looked pretty spooky. What was the verdict on that?
For that one, most people pointed to Chinese lanterns as the culprit. You know those little paper lanterns with a flame inside that make them float up in the air?
Yeah, those things.
Yeah.
They can definitely look strange if you don't know what you're looking at.
Right. And Ben Hansen, from the show Fact or Faked, backed up that theory. He basically said he thought all the Medellin sightings could be explained away by conventional objects, no aliens necessary.
Okay, so in the case of Medellin, it seems like we've got some pretty plausible explanations. But let's move on to something a bit more, let's say, unique. The mass sighting in Cali on New Year's Eve in 1999. This one was documented in the UForce database in 2004. What can you tell us about it?
This one is pretty wild. The Newforth report describes it as a mass sighting involving thousands of people who saw 17 spherical, star-like lights moving in a southwest to northeast direction over Cali, Colombia.
Thousands of witnesses. That's a lot. How long did this go on for?
About 4 hours. Imagine that, seeing something strange in the sky for 4 hours straight, and it gets even weirder. According to the report, after a while, a huge metallic semi-spherical object appeared behind a cloud. They described it as looking like a giant samovar.
A what? A samovar? What's that?
It's basically a metal container used to heat water, kind of like a big teapot, usually round with a flat top and bottom, not something you'd expect to see in the sky.
Definitely not. So this giant samovar-shaped thing just shows up out of nowhere. That's pretty bizarre.
It is, and they estimated it was about 100 meters in diameter, floating at an altitude of about 1.5 kilometers. No lights, no sound, just this giant, twisted metallic thing reflecting the clouds. They also said it seemed to be emanating something like hot air. Crazy, right?
Yeah, totally nuts. What happened next? Did it just vanish into thin air?
Yep. After 4 hours, both the 17 lights and the samovar just disappeared. Poof. Gone.
Wow. That's strange. And what's even stranger, as the report points out, is that there was apparently no mention of this event in any newspapers the next day. You'd think something that big, witnessed by that many people, would have made the news.
Right. You'd think so. And makes you wonder if maybe the event wasn't as widespread as reported, or if there's some other reason why it was never picked up by the media. It's a real mystery.
It is. Okay, let's jump to a more recent case, and one that has some pretty compelling evidence to go along with it. The 2023 pilot encounter over Colombia. This one got a lot of attention. What can you tell us about it?
This is the one with the UAPV video. It got that name because the object in the video is shaped like a V. The pilot who filmed it, Jorge Arteaga, was flying between Medellin and Santa Fe when he spotted this stationary object in the sky. He actually changed course to get a closer look and film it.
Wow. He must have been pretty curious and probably a little freaked out too. So did anyone suggest that it might have been a balloon or a drone?
Oh yeah, of course. People jumped on those explanations right away. But Arteaga shot those theories down. He said the object's behavior didn't match any kind of aircraft, balloon, or drone he knew of. And as an experienced pilot, he would know.
Yeah, you'd think he'd be able to recognize something like that. So is the video legit?
As far as we know, yes. Jaime Mozan, a Mexican ufologist, tracked down Arteaga and confirmed that the video is authentic. He also said he's got a full interview with Ortega coming out soon, which might give us more details about the encounter, so we'll see.
That'll be interesting to see. This case is definitely one of the more intriguing ones we've got, with a credible witness, video evidence, and pretty solid debunking of the usual explanations.
Absolutely. It's one of those cases that really makes you wonder what else might be out there.
Okay, let's switch gears again. This time, we're going to take a look at the Volcan Nevada del Huila, which saw a bunch of UFO sightings back in 2011. What was going on there?
Back in January 2011, there was a big spike in UFO sightings near the volcano, which happens to be the highest volcano in Colombia. And get this, locals believe these sightings were linked to extraterrestrials who were monitoring the volcano's activity. They thought these beings were there to help humanity, like some sort of cosmic guardian angels.
That's fascinating. It seems like UAPs are often incorporated into local beliefs and mythology. So did anyone offer any alternative explanations for these sightings?
Well, there was this UFO expert named Ricardo Airby who was quoted in some of the reports. He said that he had definitely noticed an increase in sightings over the previous 10 years, and he linked it to the volcano's activity. At the time, the volcano was classified as a level 3 risk, which means it was showing signs of increased activity. Airby basically theorized that these aliens were interested in the volcano because they might need to intervene to protect humanity from a potential eruption.
So a mix of local beliefs and an expert's theory, both connecting these sightings to the volcano's activity. It really shows how these events can tap into our fears and anxieties about the natural world.
Right. And it makes you wonder if there might be something to that connection. Maybe there's a link between UAP activity and geological events that we don't fully understand.
Interesting thought. All right. Last but not least, let's touch on that YouTube video from Cali that was posted in January of this year.
Oh, yeah, the one from Marijuana Marianne. Classic YouTube handle.
Right. So what did they see?
It was a video of a circular object in the sky over Cali. The person filming it was pretty adamant that it wasn't a balloon or anything like that. They even mentioned seeing a black part on the underside of the object. It's interesting that we're still getting these reports from the Cali area, even after all these years.
It is. It seems like certain areas just attract more UAP activity than others. We're running out of time, so let's wrap this up. What are some of your key takeaways from all this? What are the big things we need to keep in mind when thinking about UAPs, especially in Colombia?
Well, the first thing that really stands out is the huge increase in reported sightings worldwide. The ODNI report makes that crystal clear. And while a lot of those can be explained away as normal stuff, there's still a significant number that we can't easily dismiss.
What about Colombia specifically? What's the deal there?
It seems like Colombia has been a hotbed for UAP activity for decades. We've got everything from mass sightings like the Cali event in 1999 to pilot encounters like the one from this past April. And then there are the clusters of sightings near volcanoes and other geologically active areas, which is really intriguing.
It really highlights the variety of these events. We've got things that might have simple, down-to-earth explanations, like that balloon in Medellin, but then we've got these truly mind-boggling cases like that giant metallic samovar thing.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag for sure, and it really emphasizes how much we still don't know about this phenomenon.
Exactly. We need more research, more transparency, and a more open-minded approach to investigating these events.
I agree. The ODNI report is a step in the right direction, but we need to keep pushing for more information and better understanding.
Absolutely. So here's something for all of you listening to think about. Given all these reports, both the explained and the unexplained, what does this tell us about our current understanding of the world? Are we truly prepared for the possibility that there might be things out there that we haven't even imagined yet? And what does it mean for us as a species if we do discover that we're not alone in the universe? Something to ponder, folks. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.